Let's move on from that. In a dramatic encounter today in Abuja's Gaduwa district, Nyesom Wike, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, came face to face with a uniformed military officer during a heated confrontation over an alleged land grabbing incident. Wike accused the officer of unlawful occupation of the land, challenging his authority and demanding an explanation for the presence of soldiers restricting access. The officer countered, asserting that the land was acquired legally and that he was acting with integrity, leading to a test exchange caught on video. Wike, visibly angered, warned that no one, including the military, was above the law, declaring that he would not be intimidated. I want you to watch this video so that you can be able to see how, how a minister really, I don't know, just let's watch the video and see what happened between Wike and this officer.
The man took that I will not allow going to for number and then you to carry land.
Sir, everything was applied legally.
Will you stop that? Will you stop that?
I'm an officer, I have integrity.
Shut up, your man, put outside. Will you get out?
Sir, I won't shut up. Sir,
I was in school, you're not in school.
Sir, you can't shut
Will
me
you keep quiet? Get me a big food.
I'm not
you are big food.
I'm not a fool,
you can shoot anybody like that.
Sir, I'm not
you a fool.
I am not a fool, sir.
As for the time I graduated, you are primary school.
I'm acting on orders.
For which order? I just say you will see whether you love me.
Sir, you can't call me a fool. I'm an officer. I'm not a fool, sir.
You will have killed everybody.
No, we won't kill anybody. We won't kill anybody. We are acting on orders.
Go and develop the other this year.
Regular officer, I won't come and complain.
We are going to get out.
Okay. You can see how visibly, I'm sure you're holding yourself from really, you could see how visibly angry that he was. It just begs, quite like, it begs the question, why would he react shots? Let me have your take on this issue first, before I get to bombard you with any question.
Well, people resort to violence when logic has failed. Understand me? People, it's those who lack logic, who lack reasoning, that resort to violence. And from this, you can see that we lack logic. Understand? Because what he's talking, even a 60-year-old, what concern when I graduated from university, you are still in primary school. What brought that argument? What brought that argument? You can see a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Even I cannot imagine this in Zimbabwe or Equatorial Guinea. This is a shame. A very, very big shame. A very, very big shame that a minister of the Federal Republic should be talking like a tout. Understand? There's no logic in his argument. Nothing. I wonder how his children will be feeling seeing their father. Look, even the soldier is far more composed than him. The soldier is far more composed than him. Understand? Even if we should think of who should resort to violence, it is the soldier. But you can see, he was very, very composed. And the wicked, no, it's unfortunate. It is very, very unfortunate. And we just get out. Like a minister. Well, that's Tinubu did a disservice to Nigeria by appointing Wike as a minister. He is disgracing us. And this video has gone viral everywhere in the world.
Very true.
Because it is what is dominating social media as we speak. And they will now be saying, look at what a minister in Nigeria is saying.
One of the things I was going to ask you was, as even as an ordinary Nigerian, we all know that you're not supposed to insult an army officer or an officer at all in a uniform. And then when we now have a minister, you know, insult and then, you know, get this low, he get this low with an officer. And of course, reactions are coming in. Former Minister of Aviation and Governance expert Osita Chidoka has called on Nyesom Wike to apologize, you know, to the law enforcement agency. And of course, he said ministers must exercise authority through proper channels. You know, he would have done this thing the right way, but he went through that route, and then we saw how he behaved. You know, but you know, and then these are the same people who will tell you who are like the custodians of our law.
I tell be law abiding.
Do you understand? They will tell you be law abiding, and then he's resorting to having to insult.
When you lack knowledge, the next two is violence. The next two is insult. Understand me? When there's nothing upstairs, or when the upstairs is scattered, the next thing is insult. Understand? And that's what you are seeing there. You can see the soldier is far more composed. Understand? So if you see, it tells you how the people who are appointed as ministers in the country, even some governors, apart from the scripts that people write for them that they read, engage them one-on-one. You'll be wondering, so this is a governor governing more than 5 million people, the way they think. The way they think. So for me, President Tinubu should tell him to apologize to Nigerians and to apologize to the military, because this is a show of shame. This is a show of shame by the minister. See how other people are just watching.
Okay.
Just pointing in the sky like a village woman. It's very, very unfortunate.
Okay, so one of the things he said one of the statements he made was that no one is above the law. But isn't this a hypocritical statement coming from Wike, the Wike that we know? The Wike that we know, who has been acting like he's above the law, who has, you know, when it comes to these land grabbing issues, we know that in Abuja, he has had many cases of demolition that people actually feel he had done without a court order. And then, of course, we know what he's doing in PDP. Should Wike be the one actually opening his mouth to say no one is above the law?
Nyesom Wike has no moral right to talk about decency, to talk about obedience to the law and order, because he's a violator in chief. He is violator in chief. This is just God exposing who he is. Understand me? Imagine if he can do this in public, what he would do in private. If he can act this way in public, imagine how he would be acting in private. So it is a shame. And I commend the soldier that for his courage, for his temperament. Understand me? I commend the soldier for his courage and his temperament, because there are soldiers who, if they are ill-tempered, understand, can just snap him and say, let what will happen, happen. Understand? And the people will still side him, because it is Wike that was insulting him, calling him all sorts of names. Understand? So it is a show of shame on the part of the minister. It's a show of shame that's on the presidency. It's a show of shame on Nigerians that a minister of the Federal Republic should be behaving this way, treating somebody in public.
You know, one of the things that Chidoka has said, he has actually criticized the conduct, or he has criticized Wike's audio as an orderly, like his detail. He has criticized them, saying that in that situation, the responsibility would have been to extract their principals safely from 10 situations and not. So,
wait,
you know,
if anybody touch Wike, their Wike will snap him. If any ordinary touch Wike there, Wike will snap him. And I'm sure Wike must be resisting himself from snapping that soldier. Because the way he is swearing, pointing hand that's in the sky, shows how angry he was. And his ordinance must have read him well and just keep quiet, because telling him don't do this will be a kind of adding salt to
his injury.
Understand? But for me, I commend the soldier. That's for his temperament.
Okay, let's have your final thought on what we have discussed today before we go.
For the first one, that's on silver. This man has been a governor in Nigeria. He has been a two-term minister. He should be respected. Understand? He's not a tout. He's not a nobody. At least let due process be followed in whatever he is being accused of. Understand me? Then for Nyesom Wike, it is a show of shame, very big show of shame, and he should be meant to apologize, because it is a disgrace to the good people of Nigeria that their minister should be behaving this way in public.
Okay, thank you very much for your submissions today, and thank you for being a guest on the issues tonight. And that's all for today's episode of The Issues. We explored the challenges facing our country and electoral governance. Thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget to tune in next time for more in-depth analysis and discussion. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on the latest news and insights. Until next time, stay informed. I am